Right
Okay, all right, all right,
there.
all right. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hansen here, bringing another TKO Fanboys episode 3, A Prime Problem. Of course, with me, as always, is...
Chris Welty, how you doing, bitches?
So, there's a lot to cover. A lot of Transformers news has happened this freaking past week. That we have, I don't know if you've seen any of the Cyberverse stuff for Transformers.
I have to fill me in because I've been getting bits and pieces and I haven't had a chance to.
Well,
to
actually,
open any of it.
I saw some of the episodes on. They're all on YouTube, so just look up Transformers.
Oh, Cyberverse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll be honest. I watched maybe the first 5 minutes of the first episode, and I just, it just didn't do anything for me. Don't get me wrong. The designs are nice. The colors are great. It's very vibrant and bright, and it kind of is definitely more on the cartoony side.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like a Warner Brothers Looney Tunes type of thing almost.
In a way, yeah, in a way.
Wile E. Coyote shit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if kids love it, have at it. More power to them.
Definitely. Because just recently they released a season 2 trailer for Cyberverse, which actually looks pretty interesting. So, like I said, there's a lot of news to cover. So, Chris, what's the first topic you want to talk about?
Well, I'll pull out my notes here. We will be having the links for TKO, the TKO podcast episodes, the links for episodes 68, 69, 70, and last week's episode 71. And I want to start off with our first topic is why is Marvel better than DC? Now, I know we talked a little bit about this last week with, 2 weeks ago with the TKO open mic night, but I want to go a little bit more in depth with just you and I, but
oh yeah, definitely.
I'll let you go because you know a little bit more about Marvel than I do.
I've been following Marvel for quite some time now, ever since I was a wee little lad back in when I first saw the first 3 Spider-Man movies.
Those are good.
Ben Affleck's terrible interpretation of Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, regardless of the fact when it comes to Marvel, I see them being just better in general. Like, we're not just talking like the movies, but also the comics. The comics, they've always grasped all the generations and stuff throughout time, including the most recent Marvel comic book purchase I've made was where I didn't read it yet, so that's kind of the sad part. You buy a comic book, you're supposed to read it, right? Well, I haven't read it because I'm either doing this, or doing this, or doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just...
John, you want to back up a bit?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You keep bumping into the... There we go, that's better.
But
now I got more leg room.
Yeah, but regardless of the fact is just that Marvel has a whole entire library of comics dating back at least to the 40s, when they first started with Timely Comics, which introduced Captain America in 1941, around there, because he's technically the first. Well, that's what they call him, the first Avenger.
Hence the title of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, and then other than all the other comic book characters that came after it into fruition, and a lot of people, for some reason, this kind of bugs me. They put comparisons between some characters from DC and Marvel. It's just like, why are you saying Solomon Grundy, who is like a zombie in DC, and they compare it to the Hulk? That makes no sense. The Hulk is an unstoppable rage machine that will just tear things apart, and Solomon Grundy was like some zombie thing. I don't fucking know.
I think the backstory with Solomon Grundy was some kind of a zombie. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of Bizarro, Superman's.
Bizarro was a clone.
Yeah, I'm mistaking Solomon Grundy for Bizarro because Bizarro was basically like Superman, but a shitty clone, and but at this point, that's how much I could care less about Marvel.
Don't you mean DC?
Or DC.
Yeah.
Because DC fucking sucks at now anyways.
Oh, yeah. But, the only good, decent DC movie I've seen was Wonder Woman. and come on, it's Gal Gadot. So you gotta give her props. You know, she's.
I'm sure she's a. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure she's a very nice person to talk to. I'm just not a big fan of the name. It just sounds like a dumb name.
Reasonable.
Like if her name had been Stephanie something, or you know.
Well, she's from Israel, so that's.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I mean that makes sense. You know, I got nothing against people from Israel. You know, that's the name she was given. That's the name she was given. You know,
Exactly.
I'm not trying to look like a racist fuck or anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just think the name's a little bit too, maybe too modern. I guess I don't know, but
maybe
whatever.
Maybe. And then you just got all that they keep comparing characters and stuff like that too between DC and Marvel. But in my eyes, I see no comparison. Captain America is Captain America. Iron Man is Iron Man. I'm going to say that Iron Man is like Batman. No, Iron Man's nowhere near like Batman. And then everyone praises Batman more than Iron Man. So.
Well, they're both billionaires, but their personality are completely opposite of each other.
Exactly.
You know, like on an open mic when Bishop said, "Oh, my name's Batman. I'm a brooding cunt." I'm like, wow. Okay, that's a fair statement, but wow. And I'm like, well, the whole purpose of Batman is he dresses up like a bat because in a way it's like war paint. It's supposed to scare the enemy. It's like Native American war paint. You're supposed to do that so when they see it, it's supposed to intimidate them and scare them.
But at least in
But see, it's different with Iron Man because when you see him, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm fucked.
I'm
fucked.
At least in Marvel, they interpreted the whole Martha. I don't know his mom, Tony's.
Are you referencing the Deadpool joke?
No. I mean, like
I'm pretty sure there was a Deadpool Martha joke.
Yeah, I
the
think
second
so.
film.
Yeah. I'm referring. That is true. That is true, actually. But what I'm referring to is that in Civil War, Bucky killed Tony's parents.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
so that's kind of
like it seemed like. Cause Tony Tony didn't know what really happened. Like his parents were in a car accident. He didn't know that they were killed.
Right.
But when he found out they were killed, he lashed out toward Bucky. And at least he knows who killed his parents. And then you got Batman. Seriously, you're like okay, if you're like a kid and you're traumatized and stuff, and you're watching your parents die, I'm thinking, this is an origin story that's been told way too many times. I think we get the point. We don't need to see a repeat of it over and over again.
Well,
at least in Iron Man, it's reference of how his parents die, and then it was dropped of how they were killed in a way in Winter Soldier. But I know we're getting into the MCU a little bit more than whatever the whole DC Batman's parents dying type deal.
Because with Batman, there's so many Batman comics. It's like Jesus Christ. With Batman, they retold the story of how his parents were murdered over and over. Like, the first time, it was he never found out who it was that killed his parents. The second time, it was a guy named Joe Chill.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a random street thug that murdered his parents. And then the other time, it was the Joker.
Yep.
But see, if you were to ask, well, who killed Batman's parents? Well, technically that's a trick question because there's a couple different answers. There's like 4 or 5 different answers. But I think with Iron Man, especially the Iron Man films, we get one simple, straight answer, and it's,
Soldier.
It was Bucky who was brainwashed by
Hydra.
And the Soviet, who were working with the Soviet Union.
Yep, and then there's
as a sleeper cell agent, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also interpretations in the comics of how Tony's parents were killed. It was also by the Exxon Corporation, which was I think they're like a fuel tycoon or something, and they plotted
Energy Corporation.
Yeah, Energy Corporation. They plotted to kill Tony's parents, and Tony. I think in the comics that Tony actually tried to go after Exxon. In
an effort to lessen the competition with all the energy corporations. Not just energy, but oil, gas, and crude. Natural gas, gasoline, crude oil, etc.
But one thing, you've seen Iron Man 3, right?
Yeah.
I think Tony's detective skills are a lot better than Batman's, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, no,
It's
I agree
just-
with you on that because Tony has Jarvis, a massive supercomputer, and he's a billionaire, so he can go anywhere and do anything he wants. So
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
have all of that time, energy, money, and resources in front of you, yeah, you're gonna be able, and with the intelligence that he has, yeah, you're gonna be able to figure out a crime pretty fucking quick.
And it's just hard to say who's really smarter if it's between Batman or Iron Man, because look at Tony Stark, right? He built something to save his life in a cave with practically nothing, with help from Jensen, of course. From depending on what your interpretation, if you're talking about the comics, it's still they had to make something to save his life. If you're talking the MCU, he still makes something to save his life so he doesn't die. And
Yeah.
that's why Iron Man is such a set solid character, where he suffers. You know, I kind of see Iron Man as a soldier. Like, yeah, I know him and Cap are. I know he's not a soldier like Cap, but he suffered from post traumatic stress so badly. In Iron Man 3, you see a reflection of that. And then after everything that's happened, that he just needed Pepper to be in his life. His PTSD just kind of just faded out, and it wasn't forgotten about, but Pepper was able to get him through all that.
Yeah.
And then he got Batman. Okay, a child who doesn't know the concept of war or fighting to save the Earth or anything like that. His traumatic, he is like Batman doesn't bury his like how he doesn't have someone to get through his traumatic experience in a way.
Right, and then with Iron Man's enemies in the MCU films, he just gets rid of them. They don't come back.
Yeah, exactly,
It's
yeah.
none of this cat and mouse shit
Mm-hmm.
like the Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
It's just kill him and be done with
Yeah,
it.
like him and Rhodey killed Whiplash together.
Yeah, pretty much, and all the drones that were with him too.
Yeah, and the Hammer drones. In Iron Man 3, he found out who the Mandarin was. Yeah, he was an actor, but I wish that wasn't the case because the Mandarin is a pretty popular villain.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with that
A
one.
little disappointed.
Besides that, it was still pretty good.
Yeah, and then still that when he found the Mandarin, that he was able to defeat him with the Mark 42, but also with help from Pepper because he thought he lost someone so near and dear in his life.
Yeah.
It's just like taking in our shoes. If you lost Quinn or something and you thought she was dead, you'd be like, I got nothing. It's just you gotta look at it. Same case with me.
Yeah.
It's just.
But I think in terms, the MCU films are definitely not better than the DC films because not only did they do Avenger movies, but they've also done individual origin movies that have tied into
A
the
much
Avengers.
more bigger universe.
Yeah,
it's just not centered on one thing. It's just like
Well, it's also everything has started from somewhere and is basically tied in and woven into one thing, and that's leading right to Thanos. Everything from the very beginning of the Marvel MCU films, everything from the very beginning, I mean everything has led right to Thanos. Thanos was behind everything. If you think about it, he had someone go get Loki and start that shit up in the first Avengers movie, and then Ultron, I think, was like a side effect of
the Mind Stone.
the Mind Stone. So in a way, Thanos kind of caused that to happen.
And also Thor's decision of saying the Mind Stone's much safer with Vision, but then in reality it never was.
Yeah.
That's a spoiler alert for you, by the way.
Okay.
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 This guy here's got to catch up. He's behind, really behind.
Yeah, I did.
And Captain Marvel's about to come out next month, Chris.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was coming out in April.
April's Endgame, dude.
Oh, that's right. Wasn't there something coming out in June? Was it? I thought I saw something that was coming out in June.
Spider-Man, I think, comes out in June.
Yeah, That looks good. I have to say, this Spider-Man was better than the Tobey Maguire one. But other people online did argue the fact that the other Spider-Man movies were like different storylines, just like the comic books.
Yeah.
Which, like, the whole Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse thing where you see the different Spider-Man or Spider people from different timelines. Like, that makes sense. And I figure that's what it was with all the other Spider-Man movies. But I think DC and Warner Brothers has really screwed up because they had an opportunity to start doing cinematic universe right after Dark Knight, because they had Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises. Then what they could have done was at the very end of the third Christopher Nolan Knight trilogy, go from there and do a Superman movie, and then after that do Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and then have them do like a Justice League, because I think that would have been better. And then if they wanted at some point do a Batman versus Superman, But the one thing I wish DC would have done was done that, but then they were also going to do a Superman movie back in the 90s. It was going to be called Superman Lives,
with
Nicolas Cage. No shit, Google that. It's him.
Actually, I saw some of the test shots of the outfit. I'm like,
it was the 90s. It was a different time.
It's kind of edgy, but I don't know.
It was the 90s. It was different. But well, I watched a documentary about how they were going to make it, and I thought, oh man, this would have been such a cool movie to do. But with all the characters that were going to be featured in that movie, it would have made more sense to do origin movies first, like I had just mentioned, do it in that order, and then do Superman Lives. But see, when I watched Batman versus Superman, they actually had elements from the scripts that were written for Superman Lives put into that movie. Because I saw some things and I'm like, oh, that was from one of the original scripts. I noticed that right away. And I'll admit, I've seen test footage on YouTube, where Superman in the movie was supposed to be reborn, and he was going to have this brand new suit that was all kind of like, like you've seen some customized cars, and when it goes by, the colors change in the sunlight. It was going to be like that, and then on top of that, it was going to have fiber optics all over, glowing green and different colors too. And then on top of that, they were going to put like iridescent vacuum formed plastic pieces to match up the muscle structure. So it was supposed to be like this high-tech suit of some kind. But the problem was the Warner Brothers started losing all kinds of money to all these other movies, especially to Titanic. They got fucked over by Titanic and all the movies they did.
Titanic was a good movie, though.
Yeah, and all the movies that they were going to do or had come out, they were just bombing. They were just doing really bad. And they just decided, we don't want to lose any more money. We're just going to pull the plug on this. But now with Disney owning Marvel, they really got it by the balls and got it working.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They've been knocking it out of the park for the past 11 years now.
Oh hell yeah!
And the casting of the characters is great, especially with Robert Downey Jr. and
Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Mark
who
Ruffalo,
plays Ant-Man?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, who was in 4-Year-Old Virgin. I love that movie. He was perfect for Ant-Man. That's why I love that movie. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. The casting is great. It's like they really narrow it down to who needs to play these characters.
And here's the real kicker: that Disney's still going to consider making Deadpool still rated R.
So glad they decided
that is
because they need to understand there's a market for that.
Oh yeah.
If they will allow a Marvel movie to be rated R, let Marvel handle it. And now they own 20th Century Fox, so it's like if you want to make an R-rated movie, let 20th Century Fox handle it. Let Marvel handle it. It doesn't need to be like, oh, it's not like you have to release a film that's rated R and then have it say, Walt Disney Pictures presents a rated R film. That's not going to look good for them. That's really bad. They wouldn't allow that. They would have to let one of the other studios that they own do that for them, and just like, okay, yeah, go ahead and do that, but that's all on you guys. We don't want anything to do with that, but go ahead, whatever, because they don't want their name and logo on a film that's going to be rated R.
Right.
But I mean, it's not just the movies; it's also the toys, video games, merchandising. The TV shows have also been really good. Agents of Shield, Agent Carter, the shows they had on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing really good, and they know what to do, and they got all this great resource material at the archives at Marvel, and
Oh yeah, definitely.
of course they had Stan Lee not only do his cameos, but they probably had meetings with him and asked him, "What would you do?" and just really flesh all this stuff out. So I think, with the case being said, I would say Marvel is better than DC.
That's
just overall with everything.
This court is now in session, and this case has been made and closed to the point.
No, it's just case closed.
Case closed. All right. Yeah, it's just I think we spent quite a little bit of time talking about Marvel there, but no, talking about Marvel and Transformers are probably like one of my two favorite subjects anyway. So.
Well, let me pull up my notes and see what we got. I'm popular all of a sudden. So, okay, best website to get figures. In turn, not just with Transformers, but with anything you might collect. So, where do you go for what you need or want?
I usually go to TF Source, but just today I might as well say what my monthly purchase was.
Yeah, what did you get?
Hold on, I gotta get to it. So, anyways, I was working at the gym, right? I'm like working out, I'm looking, because I just got the rest of my tax return, my federal taxes, and I'm like thinking,
greedy fuck.
I'm like, let's see here. I'm at TF Source. Who do I want? What do I want, kid? All right, place order. Add a card, okay? Because there was that whole TF Source debate of them losing the number.
Wait, did you order it from TF Source?
No, BBTS.
I was gonna say, yeah, don't get your shit from TF Source. Yeah. They have been horrible the past couple of years now with people putting an order in and they're like, oh, my card got compromised, and they don't tell their customers. And I mean, it's a great looking website, but I don't want nothing to do with them if they're not gonna step up to the plate. And
I think their pricing for shipping is just might be a little too high too, because. Because Big Bad Toy Stores is actually located in Wisconsin.
I looked it up one time. I think it's about almost a 4.5-hour drive.
Yeah.
And Bedbugs from TKO said he was there one time to check it out, and I've noticed in the past if I order anything from Big Bad Toy Store, I'll get it 3 days later in the mail because we're south of. We're the southern part of Wisconsin right now, but I would say, depending on what you need and what you're looking for.
If you find it, and also I think if you can find it on eBay, and you can get a best offer,
or a
bargain,
good deal,
or a good deal, bargain.
Because that's the thing with collecting is you want to look everywhere and find the lowest price on what you're looking for. One time I got, what was it? Well, I got my Masterpiece Bumblebee from Big Bad Toy Store because at the time it was on sale, the shipping was good, and I checked other places, and BBTS was the best for it.
And me buying a spoiler Buster Stealthwing off of BBTS is actually my first BBTS purchase because I never bought anything from BBTS, and if it gets here faster than what I bought from TF Source, then I might switch over because.
But see, I haven't been buying anything from BBTS lately. It's mostly just been maybe TF Direct or eBay.
True. TF Direct is not too bad. No,
it's pretty good.
I was actually surprised when I got that Ratchet in the mail. That was I was kind of skeptical on that because you know the whole Chinese sellers and stuff like that, and it coming from China usually kind of screws you over. But actually, TF Direct was actually pretty satisfying after I got that ratchet in hand.
Yeah.
So,
But BBTS is also good with third party like figure arts and studio series, blah blah blah, or whatever. In terms of like action figures, Marvel figures, accessories. But in some cases, if BBTS doesn't have it, eBay will have whatever you need or looking for. So I would say, with both Star Wars, Transformers, and anything else you're into, BBTS, BigBadToyStore.com. But if you're looking for a really specific item, like kind of like my vintage GI Joes, eBay for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're looking for Transformer KOs, eBay again.
But depends on TF Direct.
TF Direct too.
Yep.
Also helps. And my phone won't shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Because.
So I think that's probably the best sites to get stuff from, don't you think?
I would say BBTS and eBay
are
the best two websites to get things.
Okay. Well, speaking of masterpieces, this is something I've been wanting to talk about. Well, and also we gotta get into the reason why the title card is called a prime problem. We'll get to that in a minute. But just recently, they just had their big whole toy reveal, and they had a very particular character.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Bumblebee is a great figure. Bumblebee is a great character in Generation 1, the movies. He's the Kid Appeal character pretty much. He is the Kid Appeal character. But I know it was probably mistransformed, probably in those photos. But why?
It might have been.
Why Takara? Why?
Fucking bullshit.
Fuck!
Bullshit.
Oh my god. All right, I'm just going to grab yours really quick. I don't know.
Gently.
Of course.
Please.
It's okay. I'm not going to throw it on the ground. I'm not that much of a... But, okay, anyways.
That's perfectly fine.
It's a cleaner back. I don't get how people find that, they want the cartoon accuracy.
Well, if they wanted cartoon accuracy, they should have started doing that at the very beginning with the Masterpiece figures. Because, this one is perfectly fine. I think it's perfect the way it is. And when you transform it, it turns into an actual accurate VW Volkswagen from the 60s. They're just doing this to make more money.
Pretty much, yeah.
And to keep working. That's all it is. But like I said, when they first started doing Masterpiece figures, they should have started right there at the get-go making them cartoon accurate. That's what they should have done. Instead of this, we're going to make a bunch of Masterpiece figures, then we're going to go back and do them again, but more cartoon G1 accurate. Now, granted, okay, some of them look nice, but you know what? Like, all the Masterpiece figures I have...
Same with me.
Yeah, they're perfect. They're perfect the way they are.
I'm not gonna...
Why? It's like taking the Sistine Chapel and wanting to enhance it. Why? It's perfect the way it is. There's no value on the Sistine Chapel paintings because you can't take it home and put it in your home or whatever. It's part of the Vatican. There's no it's priceless. It's
exactly.
It's the same way. It's like wanting to go back in and I want to make his hair brighter now. No, that you just can't. These figures are perfect the way they are. Why bother with perfection when it's already perfect? So just leave it.
Also, we're about to get to the reason why we call this episode a prime problem.
Yes,
because
I know you've been wanting to do this.
It's something, it's just a comparison contrast, and of course you've recently saw, here we got my Optimus Prime. And honestly, I've been kind of going toward a different look. This actually kind of has a little bit of an animation feel to it in a way, doesn't it?
You have been painting with it, and it does look better than ever before now.
It looks great. I don't understand. And also, I was thinking about this the other day. why couldn't Takara retool this particular figure? Because I tore these legs apart. They could have easily installed a pin hinge system to make the legs fold in and have a flat panel on the inside with detail to make it a much more cleaner leg.
But see, the one I got this is the Magic Square third party cartoon G1 accurate Optimus Prime. This one is definitely G1 accurate with the cartoon. I like it. It's very clean, very nice. It has a metal die-cast Matrix of Leadership inside.
Same with mine.
Perfect. And this one has it where the wheels, like you were mentioning, do fold inside.
I know they fold on the inside because I saw a review for that. I saw the review for the Transformers Elements Optimus Prime has been coming out. I don't know how long, but like they could have easily I'm pretty sure that once I said something like that, I'm pretty sure some 3D genius is gonna watch this and be like, a folding leg design for MP10. I never thought of that.
Because
it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna come. Some crazy bastard's gonna either look at MP10 and have it a 3D printer, and they're gonna be like, you know what? Time for the old drawing board. Going on computer, making the models, prototyping, and then boom. Once that design is perfect, he's gonna have the guy's gonna have that 3D printed upgrade kit for MP10. It's gonna happen, including with a. Like, honestly, I wouldn't mind a little more, don't get me wrong, I love my Optimus. This is my, honestly, I think, second to Megatron, this is my holy grail. Like, yeah, I know it's going through some changes, quite drastically, to be honest.
Oh, you're Megatron?
No, my Optimus.
Oh, you're,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, it's going through a lot of changes, but, I think part of me wants that a little more animation feel to it, because a lot of people are salivating, or drooling, for a good animation accurate Optimus Prime. And then, oh god, Takara, the MP44 is beautiful. It looks like a beautiful piece. It does.
But the price is ridiculous.
The price, like,
why? When you can easily get this one for
half the cost.
Not even half. You can get this for like 120 or 130 on TF Direct with free shipping included.
Yeah.
It's perfect the way it is. I'd rather have this than the Takara one. This is the answer to people saving money and still getting a great figure. Because, again, this is already perfect. Why bother with perfection, exactly.
But
so,
it's just that Masterpiece figures has just been skyrocketing lately, and ever since Hasbro went after the whole KO companies and stuff like that from the last time when we talked, there's not going to be more than likely there's not going to be KOs of MP44 floating around anytime soon anyway, because they're gonna look at the designs, they're gonna be like, yep, we're gonna sue them, and that's exactly what's gonna happen, because a lot of people can, if people can afford the Transforming Elements or the Magic Square, go for it. Or if you find MP10 for a good price, go for it. And another thing, if you want to there's been people starting to upgrade their MP10 Optimus Primes. Give a much more animation accurate head, trying to make more animation accurate legs. I've seen it.
Right.
And it looks like a really good design. Like, I'm thinking to myself, why can't this be a third-party add-on kit for the figure? Because it could easily work that way, Because, I still see MP10 being a great masterpiece. It has that G1 feel. He looks like a bodybuilder, and I see it as fine as it is, as is.
Yeah, that one's fine, but I want mine to look more accurate with the cartoons, so that's why I bought the Magic Square one.
Everyone's got their own feel. Everyone's got their own taste. But third-party companies, they're gonna look at the Masterpiece figures and they're gonna be like, we can improve on that backpack for that Bumblebee. It's gonna happen.
Well, there's already accessories you can get online. There's accessories you can get for the Masterpiece Bumblebee with a jetpack and whatever else you need.
And honestly, I looked at what comes with that Bumblebee. Quite frankly, I'm not impressed. It comes with
the first one came with
the exosuit spike,
Yeah.
and the field face plates, the tire.
Yeah, it came with that. I got that on the back.
The blaster, the license plate, two face sculpts, and that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're just doing it to make more money when they need to go back and put their resources into making more Beast Wars figures and start doing Beast Machine masterpiece figures.
That freaking black arachne is juicy.
I'll admit that that one does look pretty good.
Oh yeah, damn right.
It does look pretty good. I'll admit.
I'll stick my peener in that. I'm pretty sure Jabba the Hong is going all over, freaking salivating over that shit right now. Shout out to Jabba the Hong and a few other shout outs about to be brought to you by TKO fanboys. So I think that really covers why the title of this episode was called The Prime Problem, because for one, is the race of what is the best prime, what is the most reasonable prime. I'm pretty sure that Magic Square and Transformer Elements are going to eventually come up with a trailer design for both figures.
If Magic Square does, depending on the price of it, I would like to get it. And even if I had to find some kind of a trailer and just stick it on the back, where it doesn't really connect, you just sit it there and it looks like it's hooked up.
Yeah.
That would still be really cool. But I don't know. I kind of like Prime the way he is. So.
Yeah, mine needs a little bit of an updated look, I think. Just a little.
So, but no, I would say Magic Square definitely came into the rescue with that, and it was no more than when I got mine in the mail. It was no more. The 2 weeks after I got them, people were posting on Twitter and Facebook that they got it and how great the figure was and how much cheaper it was than Takara. I just think it was a really dumb move for Takara to do that. To list it at almost $500, which it makes no sense.
Honestly, this is if they would have kept it in the 150 price point for or almost 200 price point for the new masterpiece Optimus, all I would want would be the figure, the axe, the blaster, the trailer, roller, the battle damage parts, and that's it. And maybe the interchangeable heads. That's it. I don't want any of that Starscream crap. I don't want Spike, Carly, Sparkplug. I don't want any of that. I just want a Optimus MP44 Optimus Prime with just robot stuff. No human crap or extra shit like a Starscream head and shoulder pads to make it look like that one scene where Starscream's dressed up masquerading around as Optimus Prime. Like no. Why include that? Why you can use those resources on making Starscream, because they make a decent Starscream, then people are not gonna, because maybe they should have put their resources on making a new Starscream than making a new unless you wanted a new Optimus, it's all in your opinion and what you think.
Yeah, but Magic Square Optimus came with the laser battle axe, like in the first episode. And a couple other things. You can change out the windows on it to look more battle damage, which is nice. But I really like that battle axe that he comes with. Yeah. So I would say my Prime and yours, I'd say both of them are perfect. They work either way.
Yep, and I'm surprised Takara hasn't been trying to suckle more milk out of the tit from MP10. I'm surprised they haven't done an animation color accurate Optimus Prime with that yet. To make it have that affordable price point where everybody could be happy, where they can have an animation color accurate Optimus Prime, slight retooling, and then be happy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't done that yet.
But some people have been taking their Masterpiece Primes and having them customized for a cell shaded look like the Devastation game.
Oh, yeah,
which I'll admit is pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
It's very cool looking. But did we cover enough ground with the subject finally?
I'm good with that subject. That's something I've been wanting to get off my chest, and there's a lot of new products coming out for Transformers this year, and some of the Siege of Cybertron stuff looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, let me see what's next
What's
on our
next?
list.
Next on the list.
Well, we're gonna talk about.
We already talked about the masterpiece stuff.
Why that's bullshit. Our
Yeah.
prime comparison, we already discussed that. So I want to talk about Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
So- I'll let you finish.
Beast Wars. Okay, I'm done. Beast Wars, Transformers, Dinobot, MP41 Dinobot. I love that thing.
I have to give a shout out to the KO figure of that, where it literally says Transformers.
Oh my god.
Someone in bumfuck China made this.
Speaking of shout outs, we're going to give another shout out to our good friend, Mr. Cosby, aka James Jordan. Happy birthday, good buddy. Hope
Yeah,
you have a
happy
good one.
birthday, dude.
And make sure you stay off that back of yours.
We were gonna have James Jordan come on, give us a call on Messenger while we stream live, but he threw his back out yesterday or the other day doing something, and so I don't think he's gonna be joining us. But I told him if not, no big deal. We'll have him back on.
Oh yeah,
Maybe on our next show.
Next show, yeah.
Next month or something.
And then the next month, I'm bringing Buster Stealthwing.
Yeah, I bring that along and we'll check
But
it out.
I've actually been thinking about. I haven't been seeing a lot of reviews on him lately. I might actually try to give it a review sometime.
I was just saying, you
For
could be
help.
one of the first couple of people to do that.
Like
That'd
I've
be
only
good for
seen
you.
like I saw a British guy do it, I think an American guy do it, and then a few like some foreigners doing it, reviewing like Japanese, Chinese, and I figured, hey, maybe I'll jump on that bandwagon and see how the figure really is. Because honestly, I like. Don't get me wrong, I Make Toys Howling Meteor Starscream. Great figure. I absolutely like that figure a lot, but I was pretty sold on Make Toys when I first saw that. I really hope that this one really sells me on their Cross Dimensions line, because this is the Cross Dimensions version, their version of Jetfire, which combines to or Jetfire Skyfire, which combines to Striker Magnus, which is the Optimus Prime you have. So, of course, it's not going to be. It's going to be, but he's going to be Decepticon. No, about it.
So, anyways,
I talk too much. John, shut up.
it's all right. That's what we're here for.
Oh hell yeah!
So, Beast Wars, I think this is what I wanted to talk about. I think Beast Wars did make a big impact on the franchise because we had the G1 stuff come out and then it did really good and then it kind of dipped down a bit. The G2 stuff, it kind of went up a little bit and then back down. And then I got to a point where things really slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this, I might be wrong if I am. Okay, I'll admit it. I think the story was someone at Hasbro, an engineer, figured out the ball joint for figures. The ball joint was a huge game changer in terms of engineering and designing toys, and they started experimenting with doing animals instead, because in Japan it went from G1 series, Target Masters, Headmasters. What came after that in Japan? Was there like Super Guardian something or other?
I have no. There's super. There was okay. There's G1, Headmasters, Super Force, Mega, Master Force. That was called, and then Victory.
Okay, because I think
That's when I was first introduced to Star Saber.
I think this original Beast Wars was supposed to be. It was set in the Transformers G1 series, but it was also kind of like a spin-off. And because some of the characters they were introducing in Japan were animals, but they were still kind of boxy. But the ball joint was made, and Hasbro had the idea of doing like animals instead. They thought that they would try that, and they
Yeah.
were gonna commission for a new show. And the crazy thing was, computer animation was just starting to take
Mm-hmm.
off because while Hasbro was getting ready to do Beast Wars in California, Pixar Animation was starting and they were working on Toy Story.
Yep.
So when Beast Wars came out, so did Toy Story because they both came out in 1995.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was a huge game changer, not just for computer animation, but for telling stories. And I think Beast Wars helped start a renaissance of new toys, new characters, new episodes, shows, storylines, and the way we tell them, whether it's in comic books or hand drawn animation or now
Right.
3D animation or digital animation.
Right.
Because to me, it seems like when Beast Wars came out, it was like the franchise got revitalized, and the reaction at first was people hated it at first because they were like, "No, I'm G1 all the way."
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as they start watching it, they regret that they said that because then they started liking Beast Wars and Beast Machines.
Honestly, I love me some Beast Wars. I'm not gonna lie.
It's good.
Like some of the, including some of the masterpiece figures that have been out lately, Optimus Primal, Cheetor, and Dinobot. Now there's newest certain one is gonna be Megatron, which actually looks like a very convincing Tyrannosaurus Rex figure for a price point of $313. Honestly, I don't know, probably not, but it'd be nice. Anyways, back on topic, but they're definitely going toward all right. This is another thing I wanted to say. I know the whole masterpiece thing we kind of got through it and all. The animation accuracy works to a point.
Yeah,
it works to a point. It seems to have been working relatively well for the Beast Wars figures. They were able to figure out a way how to cover up a lot of Dinobot's parts, all enclosed and stuff in the back, and that was a genius. And I saw reviews. Shout out to Jabba the Hong, great videos, great reviews, and Bobby Skullface. Shout out to Bobby Skullface. But you can tell that the backs they're supposed to look like that for the Beast Wars.
Yeah.
And then in G1, you never got that consistency of how it's supposed to look because there's always animation. There was so many animation errors in G1, so you can never know like Optimus head looks that way. No way, Optimus head looks that way. Wait, doesn't it look that way? It's like
there's like that one episode where Optimus all of a sudden his whole body is colored blue just randomly. But I think with Beast Machines, I think there were less animation errors, but because they were working with computers, and it was kind of one of those things where they had no room for error, because when they started doing computer animation back then, it was expensive because they had to constantly update the computers, constantly update the software, and just it was a challenge because nobody had ever done it before, and there were only a certain few people in the world that already knew how to do it, and then they had to train people to learn how to do it right on the spot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And oddly enough, the show was created and made in Vancouver, in Canada, which apparently animation is really big in Vancouver. Because a lot of the shows for Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network have been made up in Canada, which I don't know why we just don't do it here in the States, but whatever. But anyways, I think Beast Wars and Beast Machines started a renaissance in terms of animation and storytelling, but also with the toys. Because since then, over the years, the toys have gotten better and better and better.
Yep.
Even when the Movieverse figures came out, the engineering and the designing to be accurate with the shows, the movies, comic books has gotten better and better. And I think we all owe that to the Beast Wars toy designers and the figures themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. Like, yeah, I agree.
But no, I think that's a good statement. It's true, and
Yeah.
I gotta say the packaging for the Beast Wars figures, I think they still hold up. They still look really cool.
Oh yeah.
You look at it, it's like, oh yeah, it's totally a '90s thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
But what would you say would be your favorite Beast Wars figure? Any of them don't matter.
Honestly, I never owned, like, the only closest things I owned to Beast Wars figures was during Armada, where they had like the Dinobots that were just like repaints of Beast Wars and Beast Machines figures. But if I could pick, if non-figure wise, if I can pick one character in particular that's my favorite, it'd probably be Dinobot.
Nice.
Like Dinobot he is the definition of a hero, and loyal to the end. Like, yeah,
Well, he was kind of.
despite he defected from the Predacons, but he knew that.
He redeemed himself
Yeah,
though.
yeah, he did.
He's one of those characters that has a hard time showing emotion, but somewhere inside, they want to redeem themselves and want to become a better person. They just are too afraid to admit it because they're little bitches. But no, I think what they did with that character in the show was good. And the guy that did the voice of Dinobot also did the voice of Rat Trap,
yeah.
and he is hilarious.
And he did the voice of Waspinator too.
Just look him up on YouTube. He's funny. I don't know why he's not doing stand up because he
know.
would be fucking hilarious. He should be on Whose Line Is It Anyways?
Oh my god.
He would nail that and just knock it right out of the park because he is that funny.
Oh my gosh.
Just look him up. He goes to TFCon whenever he can, and when he's there, he's hilarious. He's just so funny. But I would have to say my favorite Beast Wars figure / character would be Tigertron. Because you know why. Because last year when I was at DairyCon, someone for sale had the original figure in the box still for like $50, and I thought, oh, that's bad. But I looked at it closer, and it matches. The color matches his character design on the show, and the figure has some like metallic mint green color to it.
Yep.
And I like that. But then I started thinking, you know what? You could use this as a figure to display in your collection, but with that metallic shiny green, you could literally hang this on your Christmas tree and use it as an ornament.
Yep.
So plus I like that character, and I like what they did with him and Air Razor. I thought that was a neat idea. But yeah, the toy, I like the toy, and it's just really cool. And it's just cool that they were able to figure out how to change it from a robot to an animal. And Takara said, okay, well, here's how we would do it, if we started from scratch. So there was this great... They kind of... Beast Wars also reignited this working relationship between Hasbro and Takara. And since then, it's been stronger than ever before.
Yep.
But... That's my take on Beast Wars and that part of the franchise.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of a renaissance, if you will. So our next topic is our custom spotlight, and I gotta pull it up here. Wake up. So I'll give you the links so you can put it in the description.
Oh, yeah,
They'll be in the description. The links for these customs will be in the description down below.
Yep.
So the first one we have here, excuse me. Oh fuck, that felt good.
Is a Studio Series knockout from.
No, it's knockout from Studio Series.
Stinger.
Okay, so basically, you take the head from the Prime knockout figure, you put it on the Stinger figure. And I gotta say, this looks way better because the character design from Prime is great, but the toy fucking sucks.
Oh, yeah.
I bought that, and I was so disappointed. But I found this on Twitter. Someone on Twitter did this, and I thought, that looks fucking awesome.
Oh, it looks really good. Like, this is something that Hasbro could have really got a lot
Took
of
the
people
initiative.
interested in.
But see, the head fits perfectly snug right in there.
Oh yeah.
In vehicle mode, it just makes him look more badass.
Yeah.
I love it, and it just shows that sometimes not only third party and KO guys beat Hasbro and Takara, but also the customizers beat them. It's like the one time someone did a scratch built Transformers animated Windblade.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was so good. It looked like Hasbro and Takara had made it. And it was just, the craftsmanship was great. And,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but this one here is just real simple. It's just swapping the head on, cleaning up the figure, and making sure the head stays on. And I have to say this would be my TKO knockout of the week.
Oh yeah.
Right here. This looks fucking great. So
I already know what my TKO knockout of the week would be.
this is the other one. I found 3 for this time because I really liked these ones.
Nice.
So this is basically a
RC mold.
Generations RC from 2014 repainted to look like Lifeline. I have seen third-party figures of Lifeline, which is just a basic RC repaint. But this looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks really good. Don't get me wrong. It looks great.
Let alone the clear piece here in the head matches
Oh yeah, definitely.
Matches the color, but
yeah,
they
that's
even
a great repaint. Oh my gosh.
They even had gone to such fine detail to put lines in the seats and even buttons, steering wheel,
Holy shnikes.
gauges, a screen, right down to the very last thing.
That's really good. Honestly, that looks amazing.
You probably need like one of those. I see model makers use them. You put it on your head.
Like a magnifying glass.
Yeah, but you wear it on your head though. So there's that. Just some more picks and card mode.
Yep.
Which I think that's good. That's really good. And it's just a comparison with the normal RC.
Yeah. I know that was a KO company, Huizhang, actually made an oversize of that RC figure.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people went to town on it, customizing it, trying to make it improve on the figure altogether. They took off.
I don't want tits on this one though. No tits.
Which
is so. It's funny at first, but then it's like, this is really fucking dumb. Why would I?
Oh my god.
I don't want tits on mine. This one here goes back to when we were talking about in our last episode about the G2 Transformer color schemes.
That's his G2 all the way. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is
blue, pink, purple.
Spinister
Combiner Wars.
And his Target and Headmasters. What I gotta admit, this one looks cool. It does, and I think this is done by the same customizer that did Lifeline.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works. It's definitely a G2 color scheme. It's a modern figure. Even opens up.
Oh, man.
And
went to town on that figure. Holy shit.
This person took real initiative and took their time.
Wow.
Doing everything.
That's a really good repaint. That's clean.
And I think, do you think this is? I think this is spray painted.
Yeah, I think it is actually. And then he went back over it with
brushes
and
it has to be because it looks very.
It's too clean. It's too clean.
Yeah. The helicopter mode looks great. And I think this one also knocks it right out of the park.
Oh hell yeah!
It looks phenomenal. It looks great, and a comparison with other custom figures he's made.
Very nice. Very very nice.
And the Target and Headmasters he comes with, and again, even it went right in, did the small detailing.
Oh yeah.
Decepticon symbol, some paint right there, the windows,
That looks
the
really good.
face plate right there,
Oh yeah.
the missiles. So yeah. Shout out to these guys for making great looking
Customs.
customs. So, but yeah, my question for you, since you're the customizer, do you think? I'll get back in the frame here. Which do you think looks better? Painting by hand, or with spray paint? In your experience,
With my experience, when I first started customizing, I was doing a combination of spray and spray and hand, but I didn't really have a lot of hand paints, and so I just used markers and stuff when I first started off. But then I started going into more hand painting and stuff like that when I first started with doing custom figures for him and customizing figures for myself. And then when I started doing more and more, I'm like, okay, spray. You got your color in the color you want in your can. And then if you want to do details or touch ups, all you gotta do is just spray a little, have a brush, just dab that brush in, and just gently wisp whatever deficiencies are in. Like with when I was painting the legs here, the lines right there, you can see there's a little bleeding from the paint here. But there's but in this one you can tell it's a little more cleaner, is because I went back over it with that same color to clean up that line. And of course, when in spray, it actually makes things easier. It makes it look a little more cleaner, and also that with spray you can use masking tape to cover certain parts and make it more square. That's what I did with everything here. I masked these two parts first, then I masked these two parts first, then I masked that part, then I did that.
right?
So that it all depends. Like it's just your matter of perspective on which is the quickest and which way is the easiest. If you can figure out both and you can balance both, because perfectly balanced as all things should be, and then you pretty much just got it.
So you pretty much just do a combination of the two,
I've
spray paint.
I've been trying to do a little more combination of two, but with a custom I've been working on lately for someone over in the UK, I've been doing both, trying to do both hand and spray, but spray has been a little lacking for the final custom. I've just been going by hand at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because I know with some of the stuff I do a combination of spray painting. I'll do spray painting first, and then if I have to, I'll go in gently with the paintbrush and do finer details. But I prefer spray painting because it's just easier, and it gives it a better look. But again, easier all the way. So,
I know you wanted to talk about projects you're going to start working on and projects I'm going to start working on.
well, you got one project that you can't talk about yet, right? Because you're not going to start working on it till the summer.
Yes, I'm going to start working on it in the summer, but I'm going to try to at least try to work on a trailer or something to draw up hints of. Actually, if you go through the Megatron and Prime show, you will notice my drop for a future project I'm going to be doing, and Chris has actually been helping me out with some of the props, I should say, for it, and he's going to be graciously volunteering his voice also for once it takes project takes hold and stuff like that, and hopefully end of summer release date I'm trying to aim for.
Do you have any other projects you're working on besides this other top secret project?
Yes, I am. I'm actually working on my 100 subscriber special. Now there's 102 subscribers.
Which is actually the same amount of subscribers
As
TKO.
But hey, it's getting there. But yeah, if you guys want to subscribe, feel free. Click it.
Because what are you were working on something else for someone in the UK?
Yes, I'm working on some customs for a guy in the UK. A custom Titans Return Siren.
Okay.
And a Titans Return Squeeze Play or Crash Box. I don't know. It's one of those really weird headmaster characters. that looks like some sort of animal and looks really weird. But
Hmm.
he wanted a Cogman repainted as that character
Okay.
with the head. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. And a lot of people didn't want to do it. I'm like, I can do it. It's like, come on, you're challenging me. Come on, I can do it.
Okay.
It's just kind of been delaying because I've been busy with college and
Yeah, you just gotta work your way around that shit.
it's been yeah. But yeah, regardless, what are you gonna start working on, Chris?
I am working on my own diorama using cardboard as the base and with some styrene and stuff like that. Just something to display my figures with. Just something kind of almost simple and basic to start off with, since this is the first time I've done a diorama display. And then I've got a couple of kits I'm going to try to get and make some vehicles to try to complement my diorama and my collection. Plus, that way, if you need these model vehicles for your, show or whatever you want to do, I'll let you borrow them, and you can use them to film them and stuff like that. Because I got my Abrams tank with a mine plow from my local hobby shop, and the dude that runs that hobby store, he's going to order a couple more kits that are really hard to find for me, so I can try to, because I'm also going to do a TPZ Fuchs A1 German transporter, amphibious, really cool vehicle. And then I'm going to do, now help me out here, because there's two different names for this. It's a model kit for a 1/48 scale, so it's about this big in terms of size. It's either called the A10 Warthog or the A10 Thunderbolt. So which is it? But see, now isn't that more of the Air Force's thing? Because you're more in the Air Army.
Yeah, I like A10 Thumb. It's actually it's either called the Warthog. Is it called the Warthog or the Thunderbolt? Either name it's A10. It's the A10. So
because weren't they gonna? Didn't they retire it first and then they brought it back?
Mm-hmm.
I keep hearing all these different things that they're like, well, we want to retire it. Well, now we don't because our pilots love it, and blah 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 blah. It's like, well, just keep the damn thing. You guys are still using the Lockheed U-2 spy plane.
Yep.
In parts of the world and wherever, so it's like, if it's still reliable, keep using it. Because all the A10 Warthog, all it really is just a flying gun. The aircraft is made just for that big gun. That's all it is. It looks great though, and I figured it took me. Okay, this is the pain in the ass thing I had to do last weekend. No joke. I almost got a headache from this because I was trying to figure out what the fuck scale or size to make these vehicles in, because I thought, no, wait a minute, if John's gonna need these vehicles, they need to be a certain size. So it's like, okay, well, a deluxe class figure is 6 or 6.5 inches high, so many inches wide. But if I transform it, then it's like one, I don't know, like a 1/12 scale or something like that. Okay, well, if it's going to be that size, then I need to find a vehicle that's a little bit bigger or the same size as that, so it matches, in case you wanted it for a stop motion animation or whatever. So it's got to be the right size, not too big or too small, but just right. It took me forever to understand the different scales, because the smallest is 1/1000th of a scale. Then it goes to 1/72nd scale, 1/23rd scale, or 1/27th scale, then 1/35th scale, which is better because it's about that big. It's perfect size for me to work with. Then it goes to 1/48th scale, or and then 1/12th scale, and
so on and so forth.
So on and so forth, and then full scale would be a large model of the exact size for comparison. So because it was almost like a a math question in high school again. I'm like, I'm not good with numbers and shit. So it took me forever to figure out. And then once I saw a bunch of pictures and stuff on YouTube as to what scale I needed, I finally figured out because this kit here, this is a big kit.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Abrams A1 tank with the mine plow. This was also a bitch to find because there were only a couple of sellers at eBay. One of them was in Japan that was willing to sell it for $30. The other one wanted it for $100 because apparently they might not make this kit anymore. And I went to the hobby store here in Monroe, and I asked Brian, the guy that runs it, I said, "Do you have this kit?" And he said, "Yes, I do." And he found it, and at first I thought it was just the regular Abrams tank, but it has the mine plow on it. And I'm like, I want the one with the mine plow because that looks badass. Because I thought, well, if it's just a regular Abrams tank, I'll just do the mine plow out of styrene. And Tamaya, if you need something made up for customizing or whatever, Tamaya makes really good kits, and you can use the parts for kit bashing, customizing, or whatever you need.
I heard their paint's pretty good too.
They got good paint too, and they make really good kits. They also make kits for RC cars. So this is a very good brand. They've been making model kits since I would say since the late 40s, right after Japan, because this was one of the big companies right after Japan that started to employ people and get people back to working. And so yeah, this is going to be one of my other projects coming up here after the diorama, because my diorama is going to be like a background. It'll look like the side of a warehouse and kind of part of an alley, and then I want a couple of Transformer figures there looking like they're ready to go, and then I want a tank or something right next to them to kind of go along with them, so it look like some kind of something like the nest base from Dark of the Moon, the one in Washington. And that's why I still need some of the energon detectors for my diorama. That's why I've been bugging you about that.
I know you've been bugging me about it. Now since you told me about the hobby store, I could probably...
I was going to tell you, yeah, shout out to the Home Depot. Close, but no. The Hobby Depot here in Monroe, Wisconsin. Brian Stockpole is the gentleman that runs it and owns it for a very long time. Incredibly nice guy, very helpful, knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about. He's been doing this for as long as since he was like 4 years old, and he's like, I think he's getting into his late 60s now.
Wow.
Into his 70s, somewhere around there.
That's insane.
Dude, next time you go, just tell him what you need and what you're looking for. He'll help you out, and then ask him to show you his train sets downstairs. He's got this whole model train set or sets downstairs with displays and everything. It's really cool. It's like a man cave, basically. It's like you walk in and it's all wall to wall. So it's a little bit cramped, but it's all wall to wall. It's like every kind of brand you can think of, tools, paints, model kits. It's not just trains, but it's also military vehicles, model rockets, cars, even if you wanted to do some model landscaping too, you got that.
Cool.
And he's even got like, look what I was looking for. This was a hard to find thing. He's got like rare, hard to find kits and items there too. It's all of that when you first walk in, and then he's got like his desk that's also like a workbench and an office, and it's really cool. And he'll take you right downstairs. It's really cool. He's got a Facebook page, just got pictures.
Cool.
Really good reviews. He's a solid fucking dude. Because now I'm like, oh, this means I don't have to go to Hobby Lobby and get all that stuff. But I still like going to Hobby Lobby to get stuff I need. But I guess what I could do is I could go there to Hobby Depot first, and then if there's anything he doesn't have that I'd still need, then I have to go all the way to Hobby Lobby and
Right.
get it there too. But there are cases where if you tell him what you're looking for, he can order it for you, and then you just come in, buy it, pick it up. So I just remember that. I might even just do that from now on too. But I still like going to Hobby Lobby from time to time.
Yeah.
But no, it's a really cool place. He's very talkative, so you might, if you think it's gonna be a quick in and out, it might be a good half hour or an hour till you get out of there, because he's cool to talk to though too. He is. But
Cool.
so yeah, shout out to him because for his help, and hopefully I can get those other 2 model kits and get working on those, because you ever have those times where it's like you're just bored and it takes you forever to realize why you're bored. It's like, oh, I need a project to work on something. Like I need an artistic I need to build something. I need something to customize, something to make. And I think that's why Mako Aspire from TKO, I think that's why he's done so many customs and dioramas and whatnot, because
definitely.
there are people in the world that need to make and create, because 1, they're really good at it, 2, they love it. It's a labor of love, and 3, it keeps them out of trouble. And it's like it's like biologically and psychologically and emotionally, they need to make something. They need something to do.
Definitely.
So.
I agree completely, dude. Because I've been customizing for Transformers for quite a long time, and I've.
When did you start? Didn't you start in 07?
Mm-hmm. First movie.
So that would be 12 years now?
Mm-hmm.
12 years since the first movie. Wow.
Yep. And I have a bunch of ideas for other projects, custom and stop motion, that...
Have you ever been in school and you kind of like, man, I don't want to be here. I just want to go home and work on something. I was like that at work the other day. I was like, I want to be here. I want to go home. I want to be home where it's nice and warm. I just want to work on my projects and just fiddle around with shit. And then take a nap, take a break.
Speaking of naps, I'm getting pretty tired. I'm not gonna lie, like I can do this all through the night, you know.
You want me to shove that dew down?
Yeah, I want some fucking dew, man.
You little bitch.
Yeah.
Get your caffeine fix, bitch.
I was gonna say.
What's the view from Sugar Heaven, you little bitch? Careful.
I know. See you.
Oh yeah, he's got a ton of styrene in all kinds of shapes and thicknesses. And one of the things I'm going to make with my diorama is I'm going to scratch build for the first time. Just a little dumpster to put on the side of the diorama to give it some depth. I'm going to do my best to make it out of styrene. So my question to you would be, when working with styrene, do you use super glue or a special type of glue / cement?
Super glue.
Just super glue? Because I've seen some people on YouTube use like a liquid cement, but
yeah.
I didn't know. That's why I thought I'd ask.
Yep. Speaking of questions, since we have time, is there any discussion questions you'd like to discuss on this show?
No, we've covered quite a bit of ground, I think, but I have to say, jokingly, I gotta give Mako Aspire from TKO some shit, because, dude, I've sent you some questions for TKO for every episode, and you haven't answered any of them, and I think they're decent or good questions to be answered. I don't know if you just flat out forgot about them or what the problem is, but I will, if I have to, I will send them again, even though I shouldn't have to repeat myself. But I probably can't stay mad at those guys too long. It's kind of like with JC or Catfish. I can't stay mad at you guys.
Yep.
Because you're just lovable little shits.
Exactly.
But it's just, please answer my questions, because they are listener questions. And as a loyal fan, I want my voice to be heard. I want my questions to be heard.
Right.
So, and in terms of questions, like I did what was it, last week? No, 2 weeks ago. I did open mic night. My question is, since I did it, do you want to talk to Bishop about doing an open mic?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it. Just talk about some random shit. Like, I would just call it the butthole of randomness. I don't fucking know.
Butthole work. Mine
Let's
was
just talk out of our asses.
I gotta send it a quick text here. Mine was a galaxy of camel dicks, reference to Step Brothers. But I think yours is also just as funny, butthole of randomness.
But, oh, shit.
But I think I hosted it for our little podcast, but I think now you should do it,
Oh, yeah,
and then I'll be on there as a guest. And that, because they did one last night, they mostly talked about Star Wars.
Yeah.
But that was 3 hours long. I don't know if I really want to listen to it though.
If you want to, go for it. You know, I'm just kind of just like I just listen to the TKO stuff. That's about it. But if I'm on for like a few hours, like doing my own randomness or some shit like that, then yeah, I want to talk about it. You know.
Were you there when I was doing my JC impression?
No, I don't think I was.
Oh, you missed that.
I think I missed it. Like.
We were talking.
My entire night that night, I was so fucking busy. I was not even kidding. It was like.
Because I
Oh man, that was a good night though.
Because right before you came on, one of us
Like,
said
it
something.
seemed like no one didn't hear me. It's like, can you fuckers hear me? It's like
we could hear you, but you just weren't very talkative.
Well, I'm just like, I'm listening.
Kinda.
Just like, I'm not trying to be.
Well, that's why we do this show.
Yeah.
So we the fans have a chance to talk.
Yep.
But no, it was funny because we were talking. I think we were complaining about how cold and snowy it was, and one of us, I don't remember who it was, but one of us said, "Oh yeah, some of us are doing good." You know, I think the comment was like, "At least we don't live in Iowa, or at least I don't have a Jeep." And I just started doing. I know it's not a complete accurate of JC's voice, but I was just like, "Oh, look at me! I'm making it real big out here in the Jeep. Oh, I'm a big man. Ooh, I'm making it real big.
Oh, God.
Making it real big in my pants right now. Ooh, look at that big pecker. Ooh, come here, Tyler. Ooh, your goddamn liberal gender. Get that shit out of here, boy."
Jesus Christ.
We gotta have. Oh God, you know what we should do? We should recommend this to the TKO guys. We should have the roast of catfish. The roast of catfish, and we just.
Oh my God.
We just try to make up jokes.
Oh my God.
Stop bumping into the desk.
Sorry, my bad.
I think from now on we'll film it out here. That way you got a lot more leg room.
I can't help it. I'm tall.
We'll back the chair up a little.
Come on,
That's
fucking
from.
get
We'll
your
film
arm.
it. We'll film it out here. That way you got more leg room. Cause you got long legs like I do. Cause you're like what 6 foot?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
I'm 6'1", and I got long legs. So I think we'll just film it out here. That way you got more room, and you can just lay it back a little bit and make it real big like JC.
I gotta do my pants like JC too.
In the Jeep and rub one out.
Yeah, then just grab my.
Come here, Tyler.
I gotta grab my too and just drink it because I'm JC.
Gotta take my vape.
I gotta suck my RoboCock too.
I haven't really been doing much in the chat lately. Just once in a while I'll stop in, talk a little bit, and then vamoose. But
Jesus Christ.
But no, I think it'd be funny if we did a roast
Of JC.
of JC.
Do a roast of all of them. Fuck it.
No,
Be
just JC, because he's the one that had to leave TKO. He's the one that had to get a Jeep. He's the one, I mean, he's still the glue that holds TKO together.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's, we still love JC. God, he's so funny. and I know he gives everybody a hard time because he thinks Iowa is the greatest, but
Iowa's the great.
Iowa's the
That
greatest.
is the greatest state in the world. But you know what's funny?
Big old painters everywhere.
You know what's funny? My I got in touch with my old recruiter.
And he's from Iowa.
And he's from Iowa.
Oh, I'll be damned.
And he's like, "There's more stuff to do in Wisconsin."
Oh, but then see, I've been to like Cedar Falls and Cedar Rapids and like the nice suburban housing developments they have there. It's not too bad. You know, it's not too bad, but I could see someone making the argument like, oh yeah, there's a lot more to do in Wisconsin. One thing Iowa doesn't have is the Wisconsin Dells.
Damn right.
So, but I mean, Iowa is still kind of a nice, decent place to live. At least it's not like Florida.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, we could literally drive to Cedar Falls where JC lives and pay him a visit. Because it's all from Monroe to Dubuque, it's only an hour away. And then from Dubuque to Cedar Falls, I think it's only like maybe 45 minutes.
About a 2-hour trip, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. We could easily like
Pop in and say,
or just spend like we could easily like go there a Friday night, spend the night with him, Saturday hang out, and then like 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening come home, and that would be a pretty cool weekend.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah!
Like that would be.
I'll definitely be down for that. I'm not gonna lie.
Like seriously, that would be a pretty legit thing to do.
Oh hell yeah! As soon as this fucking snow disappears.
Yeah, I gotta call bullshit on Mother Nature. This whole weather has been ridiculous. Okay, first time I had to call in wasn't because of the weather. It was because my back was hurting so much and I didn't get any sleep. So I took some medicine, got caught up on my sleep. Then 2 days later, I had to call in again because the snow fell. And I'm like, well, I don't know what the roads are like, so I'll just call in to be safe. Then the week after that we had that bad snowstorm. Mm-hmm. Tuesday was fine.
Yep.
I had to call in Wednesday because it was bitter cold. And I just assumed, well, my car ain't going to start for shit with it being this cold.
Yeah.
But it was like those first 2 weeks, I was able to come in Tuesday and then Thursday. And then Friday, I go in for like half a day for overtime. And that was all I could do.
Right.
And then last Thursday, I had to call in because of the freezing rain. And then last Friday, I was going to go in for overtime for half a day. But I didn't because, again, it was 10 degrees below freezing. And I was like, I ain't doing this shit. And I got frustrated, too. And I was getting pissed off. I'm like, can't I just have a normal work week? Because it's going to affect my paycheck.
Oh, yeah.
Affect my hours. And then on top of that, you know, it just messes up your schedule. And it's like, well, I don't want to be driving out in the freezing rain. Fuck that. Like, dude, no joke. Thursday morning, I got to my car, and luckily there was no other cars nearby, but I went right through an intersection, and my car went like that all the way around. I stopped, and I'm like, yeah, I'm staying home. Fuck this. It's just not worth it. Mm-hmm. I should have called in to begin with.
Even this past week on Wednesday, there's some people that didn't even go to work either.
Really?
Yeah.
Wednesday was fine. I didn't have a problem with Wednesday.
Well, some people didn't go to work, but that's what I heard. But it was
wait.
When I went to school, it was just roads were slippery. You know, it was really slippery, and then of course it got cold again, and they had whatever was defrosting.
Yeah.
Had that freeze.
And then
it's like
it was Tuesday. We had that snow, right? Yeah. So then Tuesday, I called in again because my car was buried. The parking lot was still buried. They were still plowing snow on the roads and in town. And I'm like... And they kept saying, well, there's supposed to be a little bit of freezing rain off and on. And I was like, you know, I'm not even going to bother with this. Mm-hmm. I walked halfway across the road on the street, turned around and walked right back on. I'm like, I ain't dealing with this shit. Luckily, I think... I got to double check to make sure, but I think... if there's a certain amount of people that don't show up because of the weather in the roads like that in the winter, they won't give a point to anyone that didn't show up for work. They'll just dismiss it because the 1 week where it was so bitter cold, only like 4 people showed up to come into the kitchen and work one uh, production line, and that was it. Everyone else had to call in because it was so cold.
Right.
And that's kind of like an act of God thing. You can't penalize us because we don't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
It was, oh God, it's just been ridiculous lately. And then of course after that, what was it like? After that, it just got really cold and it went up to like 45 degrees and went back down. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's like a yo-yo effect.
Yeah, like, Jesus, Mother Nature, calm down, you fucking skank. Thanks a lot. But,
Yeah.
it's just been ridiculous. But that was my case. What about your truck? You got a monster of a truck. Did yours do okay, or?
Did okay.
It just baffles me that you went to the gym in that freezing cold.
Yeah, it was great.
Like, no.
Hey, I got a reputation. I got a reputation to keep. For the.
Yeah, but
you know, I gotta keep it, man. I gotta.
It was
that,
it got so cold in the Midwest and everywhere, including Minnesota. I found on Twitter, someone's toilet tank had exploded. And I'm like, how the fuck do you explain this? You gotta take a picture because no one ain't gonna believe you. No one in hell is gonna believe you if you just told, oh yeah, but the tank in my toilet exploded. Oh yeah, right. Oh shit, you weren't lying. Just like, oh my God, it's like it was so cold, even the salt wouldn't work.
No, not only that, but we ran out of salt too.
Yeah.
Like,
and
gone.
in Chicago with the suburbs, they got all those train tracks for the commuter trains. They were lighting them on fucking fire to keep them from freezing over.
Yep. I remember
fire.
Last Saturday I dropped about almost $40 on salt. Oh man. No, it was 40. I don't remember. It was either 40 or almost. It was almost about $40 on salt. So I bought 4 bags to salt the driveway because we had company on Sunday. So it's just like I don't want no one slipping, falling, and getting hurt. Yeah, stuff like that. And this was after my thing with the guard and going to guard on the next day after that. So.
Yeah, that was one of the things. One of my big wigs at work and management was saying, well, we're still planning on normal operations for Wednesday. It's like, oh, give me a break. Did you guys at corporate not just see what they're saying on the news? It's got to be almost negative 60 degrees, wind chill, and it's bad when the governor of the state
declares a state emergency
and has the National Guard on standby. Like, it's bad when this happens.
Oh, yeah. And I was actually ready. I was like,
I was actually thinking about you.
Son. Send me in. Let me freeze my ass off.
I thought, oh, they're going to send him in. I just know it.
Ah! This would be me. I'd be like, it's so fucking cold. My cold heater, not toward face, but defrosting pipes. I'll be like my waffles, which is like lawn underwear and stuff.
Oh, and like what people had in like the Western 1800s. Those whole long johns.
Oh, dude, believe me, I probably would wear everything. I would put like the long johns on, have my OCPs on, my flannel on. I would put my knee pads on, put my freaking vest on, and then put my entire mask on, my neck garter on. I would be like, this is fucking cold. They would ask me like, why are you wearing your IOTV? It's fucking cold. That's why I'm wearing it.
It's like. And this is also, oh God, I almost forgot, our asshole of the week.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
this is fucking stupid.
I'm not in the military, but this pissed me off.
I don't know the whole deals of it, but I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck is it?
Okay, so and I gotta give TKO shit here because lately they've been saying, oh, our asshole of the week is JC again. No, come on, guys. You can go online and find all kinds of news stories and other assholes to pick for asshole of the week. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
So, our asshole of the week would be Monica Witt, who was working in the Air Force for a number of years. She transferred to the intelligence branch of the Air Force military or whatever to get info on Iran.
Mm-hmm.
She then decides to defect and go to Iran and work for them.
Bitch.
And now she's done treason. She's given out information that's very sensitive and has given Iran the advantage. And she has also betrayed the country that she grew up and was raised in.
Yep.
And I don't understand how someone can just all of a sudden just get up and do that. Like what?
It's a thing in the military, even with some of the cases like Burgle and the other, like some sort of, it was a transgender that was transitioning, I guess, into becoming a woman, and it was Manning, and they just decided to just betray and sell out their country because they were either A, trying to get out of it, or B, just didn't. I don't know. It's just like.
So you think when someone goes from a man to a woman, they're doing that to try to get a Section 8 and get out?
I don't know. I don't know all the details about those cases, but you know, if you wear the uniform, your intentions is not to betray said.
Well,
uniform.
and you take an oath too, though.
Yeah, exactly. We are sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America
And the people.
And the people. And if we don't buy those, we could create, that would be a sign of treason, Article 15, and you're pretty much overall screwed.
Because you know, if she were to come back as soon as she gets off that plane, they're gonna arrest her ass.
Oh, yeah, they would arrest her.
And they will arrest her in a heartbeat and bring her in for questioning. The FBI, there's already a warrant from the FBI out. They're looking for her. They're looking for her all over the country in case she tries to sneak in.
Right.
But they said she's already in Iran, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The last time they heard, they said that she's still in Iran.
Yep.
And it's like, why would you want to go to a country like that? You know they fucking hate us. And you know as soon as you get off of the plane over there, they're going to try to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand how you could just do something like that in a heartbeat. And it's like, I don't know how you can just betray your country like that.
The human mind is a fragile
And it's a complex
and
thing.
complex thing.
It's like trying to do a Rubik's Cube with night vision goggles on. Like, I still can't tell what the fuck this is.
It's actually pretty true, actually. But it's just a problem that people can't keep secrets anymore, and the intelligence community is just trying. They should keep tabs on these type of people and make sure they go through those through psych evaluations, including police officers. You know, they should make sure they go through psychological evaluations before somebody gets killed or hurt.
Well, this is like the whole Snowden thing. They were comparing her to Snowden, and I thought, okay, if he had a problem with CIA, NSA spying on the American people, it's like, dude, if you have a serious problem with it, then you don't need to.
Does that? There's nothing issue. No, there's no major issue.
Are we still going?
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have a serious problem with the NSA, the CIA, then just quit. You didn't need to defect to a different country. You didn't need to. All you had to do was just quit your job and say, well, I don't like what they're doing. They're spying on the American public. This is bullshit. I'm going to be an activist and stand against this and not work for them anymore. And it's like, you could have just done that and stay in America instead of defecting to another country. Like, that's all you could have done.
True.
You know, just make it easier for yourself. Yep. You didn't need to have very little to go to another country. You know, it's like, I don't understand, like it's no different if someone is unsatisfied with their job. It's like, all I gotta do is just quit and find a job elsewhere. That's all this dude had to do, was quit, find a job elsewhere, and then on his spare time, if he still felt necessary to let the American people know, oh, the government spies on people from time to time, then be an activist. Be an activist and just do your thing with that. Instead of having to steal information and go to a different country
Mm-hmm.
and then do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you really want that on your record?
Sure.
Because again, if you were to fly all the way back there and get off the plane, they're gonna arrest your ass.
Yep. But yeah, I think we pretty much nailed it on the head on that one. That was.
I just don't understand
Yeah.
people sometimes.
Neither do I.
I don't.
But
I don't want to. I don't want to. I can't deal with your stupidity. It's like, why are you making this harder for yourself than it has to be? Don't do that. Just make it easy for you. Okay, this is a first world country, not a third world shithole where everything has to be harder than what it has to be.
Right. Exactly.
I can't stress that enough.
Right.
I just can't.
Well, I'm glad we covered our asshole of the week.
Yeah, assholes.
Assholes of the week, I guess. But
I don't have anything else to say.
me neither. I just I think we're pretty much good. Episode 4.
Episode 4, Prime. No, episode 3.
This is episode 3, but yeah, episode 4 is.
Oh yeah. After this, episode 4 will be about a month from now. I'd like to try to do that one maybe before, depending on our schedule. I'd like to do it before St. Patrick's Day, because St. Patrick's Day is also going to be my birthday, and I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. I might not do anything at all. I don't know.
I know what I'm doing.
Well, what do you... Oh, drinking. Well, yeah, obviously, you're going to do the... Do they do a pub crawl in Broadhead?
I have no idea, honestly. But,
and yet you live in Broadhead.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to look at the calendar. I'm looking at the calendar right now.
So, episode 4 will be called... It's Takara, not Takara.
Yeah, it even says happy birthday right there on my phone.
What day is that?
Oh, man, it's on a Sunday.
Son of a bitch.
You know what? What if we do the next episode...
On the 16th?
No, on the 15th. If your schedule will allow it. If not, we'll do it on the 16th.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Or if we have to, we'll do it the weekend before, depending on how things go.
Okay, yeah.
I might just celebrate my birthday on either the 15th or the 16th. I don't want to celebrate it on a Sunday. It's got to be at least a number of years before it goes back on a Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, our next episode will be around that time. We'll figure it out when it becomes March.
We won't have a script. We'll figure out what we're going to call it next. Well, we already know what we're going to title it, but we just don't know what we're going to talk about yet. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of new Transformers stuff and news and talk about a bunch of random other shit. Like we always do, because we have no filter. We don't give a rat's ass. So if you don't like this program, go fuck yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I can say fuck on YouTube, can I? I think I can. There's a lot of people that say fuck on YouTube.
Shit, fuck, cunt, damn
God.
it, son of a bitch, god damn it, motherfucker,
Oh,
George Carlin. Shout out to him. Bitch, shit, cunt, fucker, tits, cocksucker, god damn it, son of a bitch, rotten motherfuck. Oh, finger fuck, screw.
Okay, I think we get the picture, Chris. We get the picture. But that concludes this episode of TKO Fanboys, episode 3, Prime Problem. So, from us here in the great state of Wisconsin, go Packers, fuck the Bears.
Packers.
If whatever MP style Prime you want to get, it's your money, it's your choice.
Magic Square. Or whatever, like he said, whatever you want.
But I think we're out. So this is John Hansen.
And Chris Welty.
Signing off.